Okay, solve the following quadratic equation by taking a square root. Make sure your answers are in simplified radical form. Show your work. So for each of these, we want to get x squared by itself first. So remember, we have like our order of operations. And when we solve equations, in other words, going from one side to the other, we always do it in opposite order. So I'm going to add and subtract first. Add 4, so 64x squared is equal to 81. Then I'm going to divide, so I first add, subtract, then I'm going to divide by 64, divide by 64. X squared is equal to 81 over 64. Square root. So I get x is equal to, now the square root of 81 is 9 over 8. But remember, whenever we take a square root, it could also be negative 9 over 8. And so these are my answers. All right. And I'll do the same thing for problem 20, right? So I subtract 2, and I get 2b squared is equal to 96. Then I divide by 2, b squared is equal to 48. Square root. Now 48 is not a perfect square, but I can rewrite it as 16 times 3. And so b is equal to, that 16 just becomes 4 square root 3. Now once again, I also can say negative 4 square root 3. And this is my answer. All right. For 21, now we have inside the parentheses an x plus 11 squared. So I'm going to add 12 on both sides, and I get 2 times x plus 11 squared is equal to 98. So this is divide by 2, and I get x plus 11 squared is equal to 49. So now I take square root. Now when I do this, remember, the square root of 49 is 7. So I would say x plus 11 is equal to 7, or x plus 11 equals negative 7, because this x plus 11 can equal either one. And then from here, I would just do minus 11, x is equal to negative 4. Or minus 11, x is equal to negative 18. Like this. I'm going to switch up colors for this last part so that we don't mix this up. So for this last one too, I would first subtract 4, and I get 1 over 4 times 2x minus 10 is equal to 8. Multiply both sides by 4, and I get 2x minus 10 squared is equal to 32. Square root. Now, just like before, we would say 2x minus 10 is equal to the square root of 32, or 2x minus 10 equals negative square root 32. Like that, and kind of fit it in the corner there. I'm going to just focus on the positive side. Now, first off, square root of 32, 2x minus 10 is just square root of 16 times 2, which that becomes 2x minus 10 is equal to 4 square root 2. Now, at this point, I have a common factor between 4, 10, and 2, which is 2, so I can actually divide everything by 2. Now when I do this, I get x minus 5. Now when we divide, remember, we only divide the coefficient in front. We leave the square root 2. So this just becomes 2 square root 2. Add 5, and I get x is equal to 5 plus 2 root 2. Now we're also going to equal negative 30 root 2, so this is going to also be 5 minus 2 square root 2. And this is our final answer.